Bonani, Dumelang, Absheni, and hello. Welcome to yet another amazing episode of Gospel News SA Velocity, where we deliver news to you faster than the speed of lightning. Yes, we made history on the first episode with the first ever edition of our never done before news coverage within the gospel circle. And today, we continue to bring you unbiased current news and events happening both locally and around the globe. I am Mpho at Mpho Precious Sithole on social media. Please do follow us on our social media platforms at GospelNewsSA, that is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Without any further ado, let's get straight into it. With so many things happening in SA, it seems there's a bit of light at the end of the justice tunnel. The Hawks strike again with the arrest of 3 suspects linked to a 4.8 million tender scandal in Limpopo. The suspects are yet to appear in court. This just shows that there is hope for the justice system combating corruption. Our beloved South Africa, we keep it short and sweet and move right along to our neighboring countries in Access Africa. Jubilation continues as Ethiopian athlete Haile Gebrselassie remembers his greatest triumph, becoming the 10,000 meters champion at the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000. In an interview covering this anniversary with BBC Sports Africa, the athlete lists his top 5 achievements and explains how he, in this particular race, was assisted by the leg of God. Wow, this particular case is the epitome of being literally led by the Spirit. Whilst in other parts of Africa, progress against the coronavirus brings complacency. As the global COVID-19 death toll approaches 1 million, Zimbabwe and several other African countries have not experienced the widespread surges and high number of deaths that were predicted. We see a picture by Tsvangirai Mukwanzi showing women sharing a light and joyful moment at a social gathering in the poor neighborhood of Mbare, Harare. As Zimbabwe's COVID-19 infections decline, the strict lockdown rules designed to curb the virus are being replaced by what is seemingly the return to a relatively normal life, as many citizens see no need to remain cautious. People of God, remember to remain cautious. Wear your masks in public, sanitize regularly, and maintain social distancing. Together, we can fight the coronavirus. Movements such as Black Lives Matter and the fight for racial injustice have gained more traction this year than ever, with the murders of individuals such as George Floyd and Breonna Taylor sparking massive demonstrations across America and the rest of the globe. However, research has found that not all Americans' perceptions have been affected by current events in the same way. The Barnes survey that shows the amount of white self-identified Christians that were somewhat motivated to address racial injustice issues has declined from 35% in 2019 to 29% in 2020, with some stating that they are still on the fence about getting involved in conversations regarding racial injustice. They ultimately have decided they are firmly opposed to it. It is sad to see that Christians choose to remain silent during these times when their voice should actually be heard the loudest. God is love, and He loves us all equally, regardless of our race. With the world in desperate need for good news, especially during these trying times, it's heartbreaking to see a drastic decline in American millennials who still adhere to a biblical overview. A study by the Cultural Research Center at Arizona Christian University found that just 6% of Americans adhere to a biblical worldview, while millennials held the lowest number of biblical overview holders at just 2%. Yes, 2%. A shocking 2%. This begs the question, is the biblical worldview as we know it falling behind as the world is continuing to transform? You can let us know what your views are on our socials. Youth represents continuity. The youth carries the baton in order to continue the race. It is sad to see the youth dropping the baton. On the other side of the world, some amazing statistics coming out of East Asia. Protestant Christianity is booming in China. The Chinese government reckons that about 200 million of China's 1.4 billion people are religious, although some practice traditional Chinese religions such as Taoism and longer expanding foreign imports such as Buddhism, Christianity is probably the fastest growing faith, with at least 38 million adherents today, which is about 3% of the population. Amidst all that we have been through this year, let us continue to press on with hope, and remember that hope in the future produces power for today. With that said, I leave you with this verse, Deuteronomy 31 verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear, nor be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That brings us to the end of this episode of Gospel News SA Velocity. I had an amazing time and trust that you did too. Remember to follow us on social media at Gospel News SA, one word. From me, the precious gift from God, Intombi Yakwa Sithole. I say God is love and goodbye.